video on seeing if we can turn these two tins of meat, stew steak and minced beef and onions in gravy into a bit of a ragu. We'll also do a bit of a taste test because I've never eaten these things. And I was just, so I bought them as part of another experiment. We're just going to take that off so it doesn't make a mess and we can recycle this paper. I bought them as part of another experiment to see what I wanted to buy tinned ragu, but you can't really buy it. All you can really buy easily, you probably can buy, because you can buy most things in this life. Spaghetti bolognese. Well, bolognese, not spaghetti bolognese. But that's kind of what you can buy, and I was just kind of buying other things as well. So I bought those, and I kind of thought, well, we really should do something with them. So I kind of thought what we'll do is we'll see if we can turn them into a bit of a bolognese pasta sauce type it is, because to have a tin of bolognese in the cupboard, or you can really use it for his pasta, but if you've got a tin of mince or stewing steak, and with the addition of a bit of tomato puree, we can turn that into pasta sauce, a meaty pasta sauce, and then we can still use it for pie or like a cottage pie type of thing. So let's open and have a look and see what it's kind of quite like, because I think there's only really, what's the difference between what this is going to be and a tin of bolognese is tomato and a few herbs. I think that's going to be pretty much the only difference in my eyes. So what does it taste like? It's alright, is that? It's alright. So, and then stewing steak in gravy. So I don't know if we're going to use the mince tonight, and then I think we use this stewing steak at the weekend when we do some kind of pasta bake. But what was that? Nice is that. Not cheap though, but it's alright. So, pasta's cooked. I just cooked it in a little bit of water. Rather than cooking it in lots of water and straining it and all that kind of stuff, I just put like maybe 400 millilitres of water in 250 grams worth of pasta, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and then just cooked it more like a risotto than how traditionally you would cook pasta. So let's add this to that without any tomato and see what happens with that to start off with. So turn the heat back on. It'll form a little bit of a sauce because as the water has evaporated, it's combined with the starch from the pasta and giving us a bit of a head start on a sauce. I need a little bit more, so half a tin's worth. Some just pops in the I'm baking some bread as well, so let's add that like that. It's like a meaty ragu-ish type of thing. See how that tastes. I think it'll be alright actually. Needs more pepper, needs more salt and pepper. Alright with that. Alright with that. I don't think we'll actually need to add the tomato, but I think we will do it anyway. And then we're going to see what that's like. So, seasoned correctly. How's it taste now? Nice is that. For an easy dinner, I'd totally recommend that. If you just wanted to do like a one-pan dinner and then eat it out of the pan, so you don't have to make any washing up, that's not too bad. So, with the addition of some tomato puree to pretend it's more of a tomato-based pasta sauce, I think this will be even nicer. So you just move it around, and then more starch comes out of the pasta and forms a sauce. that, so we can turn it off now, give it a taste. As good as that. Do you know, after a long day, if I came home and made myself that, or someone had cooked me that, I'd be thoroughly satisfied. So that's success. So now we'll, at the weekend when we're doing a bit of a pasta bake, we'll do the same with this stewing steak and see how that turns out, but I think it will turn out pretty well. Make a bit of a ragu with this stewing steak. I have just cooked some onions and some tomato. I'm not going to add the gravy from this stewing steak just yet. I probably will end up adding it. I need to put it in something else, don't we? I just want to separate out. I don't want to make like we'll see how much meat's in there actually before we start. It wasn't cheap, this. I think it was about £4. I think. Well, since I bought it. But if we just put meat in and it's soft enough to shred up, and then we'll have to put a little bit of tomato puree in as well, just to make it more tomatoey. Do you know what? I think I'll just. There's not that much gravy, is there? There's quite a lot of meat there. Let's just put all that in. Let's just put all that in. It's not going to make that much difference, that gravy. And then make it up a little bit on the side of the pan. You turn the heat on. And then just heat it through, and then kind of see what we think. I suppose I really should have done a better job of shredding that up, but it'll work. Just crush it on the side of the pan, and then I'll shred it up a bit, and it'll shred down a little bit more in the cooking process as well. So that's turned it more meaty looking, more gravy looking than tomatoey. So I'm going to put, well, I'll end up putting all the mince in that as well. I'm not going to like the mince. The half tin of mince that we've got, just to use it up. But tomato puree is just a way of adding concentrated tomato flavour without excess amounts of liquid by adding like another that you would get by adding another tin of tomatoes, and it's more umami is tomato puree. Now I did notice, I tasted a little bit of this mince again, and it really does need some salt in it. I don't know if the manufacturers are putting less salt in things because they're concerned about the amount of salt that anyone's eating, but from a professional point of view, I thought it certainly needed more salt in there. So, and the same with this stewing steak as well. So, more tomato. I did do a video on how much a comparison between passata, tomato puree, and tin tomatoes, like how much tomato puree you need to kind of compensate for a tin of tomatoes and a 500 gram packet of passata. So a little bit of salt, pepper as always. So, do you know, it's always running out, is this? There we go, I've restocked the pepper mill. So, tighter the nut on top, the finer the pepper that you grind. Like that. Stir around. So, when you've added salt, give it a proper stir to make sure that all that salt melts into your food and is equally distributed. Right, cheap tomatoes, so we've got a bit of And that'll be fine. So yeah, give it a proper stir. Keep it moving around, and then everything has been seasoned and the salt is evenly distributed throughout the dish. Because what can happen is if you just give it a quick stir, taste it again, you might taste a bit that has lots of salt in it and therefore tastes good, or not so much salt in it, therefore you kind of think it needs more seasoning. So you really need to mix things properly once you've added salt. Anyway, so how does this taste? You know what? That's pretty good as well. Well, it's alright. It's not amazing. I would like to be able to buy really good quality beef ragu in tins or in jars, but it's not readily available. So, therefore, right, so we can definitely turn stewing steak into a relatively easy meat ragu. And the same with the mince as well, which means you don't have to buy tins of bolognese or ragu. You can buy tins like that and bulk it and put in some extra tomato puree and make a semi-decent meat ragu. You know, it's not going to win any awards, and it's not going to fool any Italian people, won't fool any chefs, well, any decent chefs. There's plenty of chefs out there, they're not all decent, are they? So, I didn't say that. But that's pretty good, isn't it? So, what was the purpose of this video? I wanted to find out which is good enough reason. So, relatively a success. So there we go.